I think that it's been absolutely amazing today to hear the impact on cold water swimming and the Swimming Queens group on everybody. Like, honestly, I actually feel so warm inside to hear everybody's kind of responses and to know each other, like each other's journey about how we got to this point. Like, I can't honestly thank you enough, and I really honestly want you all to share what it means to you, because we want people to join us. We want people to do this as part of their own strategy to manage their own kind of mental health and to manage life stresses. Because actually, let's get it pretty on the button here. Life can be tough, and see if you don't have your people and people that are honestly got your best interests at heart. Life could be even more tough and tougher than you need it to be, honestly. So I remember saying earlier on that I was going to say a little bit about kind of where my journey started. So I have always been a person who masked how I feel inside. So I've always been quite bubbly. I still am bubbly, but underneath that bubble, I have identified probably in the last few years with the loss of a really dear friend to suicide, and kind of a few losses of my own personal losses, my granny, and some other losses that I don't feel comfortable with speaking about, really, to be honest, if I don't really know you, because I'm quite private. So basically, I got to a point where I could no longer hide my anxiety. The mask was falling, as I used to say to people when I was first going through some of the troubles and trials and tribulations. So because I was a rugby player, I got away with feeling like this quite a lot by kind of partying, the use of alcohol, and probably maladaptive coping strategies and masking. But I'm trying to get a little bit of weight back off and being a little bit more insightful for my wellness. The cold water swimming, I feel like, is another way for me to channel and probably rein myself in, really, because I can be quite overwhelmed. I can be quite anxious and get really just quite dysregulated with my own stuff that I've got going on. So to do the cold water swimming, I find, is a regulatory kind of thing for me. I know that actually some people in the group have got diagnoses of like ADHD or ASD or Asperger's type conditions. So I think cold water therapy as well is really good at managing those things as well, because serotonin can really calm people down with ADHD and anybody that's on the spectrum. Like, it can, well, it's the same as I mentioned earlier. The amygdala, like, as a fight or flight response. So if you've got ADHD and any sort of other condition or additional need, the cold water turns that panic mode off. You just have a bit more of a sense of clarity. You feel a bit more at peace. Maybe the hyperactive side of ADHD isn't there because you're a bit more calm. We know that stimulants and things like coffee and cocaine and alcohol at times can actually also manage that, but cold water is a bit more of a well-being way of doing it, a bit more a safe way of doing it. It's not toxic, it's not got the toxins of alcohol and drugs, and it's just a really good thing. So I have learned over the last couple of years that it's okay to not be okay, and I've really embraced that vulnerability. And I have to say, women and trusting relationships with women is not something I've ever been really comfortable with. But because I've met an absolute smashing group of women who honestly do make me feel really quite safe in their company, it's totally changed the way I look at other females. And I want other people to get that out of it as well. Like, women need other women. I honestly cannot express it enough. We need other women, we need women in our corner, and we need other women that have got your back. We don't need women that when you get up off a table, that you're the top of the conversation. That is not the kind of vibe I want in my life. I need women who are going to be like, yeah, she can be difficult and she can be challenging, but she's a lovely girl, like, we love her. and we exclusively have her in our lives. Like, we don't need people to tell us our toxic traits and what's bad about us. We need people that are going to hold our core. And I tell you one thing, the swim queens definitely do that. God, I got a little bit of a frog in my throat there. I didn't really expect that. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart that you keep on coming along and we keep on having these laughs. And I honestly can't thank you enough for making me feel so much better about myself, about my well-being, and just giving me a safe space sometimes when I'm unravelling at an affidavit of knots. And I'll tell you one thing, the laughing and the joking that goes on in this group is honestly so wholesome and just heavenly to hear. And anybody, honestly, I would never turn anybody away. And anybody that ever needs a hand with anything, you give us a shout. There's always one of us around.